Guofeng soon faced another powerful rival, the tough, resilient Deng Xiaoping. At 72 years old, Deng was a veteran revolutionary, one who put economic prosperity before socialist purity. For this, he had twice been purged by Mao.
Of course, he believed in socialism, but he didn't think socialism was dogma. He had a famous saying, "It doesn't matter if the cat is black or white," he said, "as long as it catches mice." He encouraged everyone to concentrate on results, to see if what they were doing was good for the country.
Deng was a pragmatist, but he also believed in the absolute authority of the Communist Party. Without it, he thought, China would splinter apart and slip into chaos. Deng appeared in public for the first time since Mao's death in July 1977 at a soccer match in Beijing. The venue was symbolic. In this stadium, the Gang of Four had led thousands in rallies against him during the Cultural Revolution. Deng moved skillfully to consolidate his power. His first step was to mobilize the party to exonerate the millions of people like himself who had been attacked during the Cultural Revolution. Ge Yang had spent 22 years in exile and labor camps.
When I returned to Beijing, they told us the charges had been made in error. My God, for those 22 years I was a rightist and a counter-revolutionary, and it was all a mistake. Those 22 years were really hard, but I started a new life.
The problem was whether you could cooperate with the people who had attacked you. We returned to our old jobs with the same old people. Society had to go on. We could still work for many years. So I agreed to take back my old job. I had no choice.
Throughout China, the scars of Mao's rule ran deep. The children of his revolution, especially the sent-down youth, were a generation unlike any other. Shaped by the traumas of the Cultural Revolution and their years in the countryside, they began to return home.
My friends and I did not know what to believe. Even if we could come back to Beijing, and in fact I was transferred to Beijing in 1979 after 2 years of great efforts. But even if we could return and find jobs, we still felt we had been wronged, that something had been taken away from us.
When I came to Beijing, I felt that the city was full of profound changes. Everyone felt that something historically significant was going to happen. Quite a few salons sprang up, where people talked about politics. Everyone was having big debates about where the country was going.
In the autumn of 1978, the debate spilled onto the street, to an area in western Beijing which became known as Democracy Wall. People came and pasted up writings, articles, and poems. They wanted to express their anger and sorrow about the Cultural Revolution, and to understand how such a catastrophe could have engulfed the country.
I examined the Cultural Revolution and criticized Mao Zedong directly. This was not party line. I said that Mao did not launch the Cultural Revolution because he made a mistake, but because he was an evil man. I think it was the first time anybody had ever said anything like that about Mao. My speech caused quite a stir.
On November 27, 1978, the People's Daily reported that Deng supported the movement. "We have no intention of denying the right of the people to express their views by putting up wall posters," he was quoted. Deng's words fueled the movement. One of the most outspoken activists was a young electrician and son of a party official, Wei Jingsheng. "The leaders of our nation must be informed that we want to take our destiny into our own hands," he wrote boldly. "Democracy, freedom, and happiness are the only goals of modernization." It was in this heady atmosphere that the Chinese Communist Party met in December 1978. Behind the ritual facade, Deng Xiaoping ousted Hua Guofeng.
It was at the third meeting of the Congress that Deng established his political power. Although he was still a vice chairman, his voice became the party's voice, and his policies were accepted by the whole party.
Deng Xiaoping was now the most powerful man in China. In 1978, the Chinese people lived in almost total isolation from the outside world. For nearly 3 decades under Mao, international relations, especially with America, had been cold and often hostile.